Good morning, everybody. This is our Sunday share from the Academy of Acupuncture. My name is Dr. Eileen Yue Ling. I'm the director. And also we invited Dr. Ric Valentine from Monterey, right? Monterey,
Yep.
California.
Monterey, California. Yep.
I've been visiting many times and I love that area. And let me introduce you who he is. And before I do that, I'd like you to tell me where you're from, what country, and what are you doing over there right now? Just kidding. Please tell me where you're from, your country, and say hi to everybody. And please share with your friend. And please also click like. Thank you so much. So now let me introduce you, Ric Valentine.
Hi.
Ric is a Northern California native who has staying local to his geographical roots, but migrating from the corporate world to the restaurant business and finally to acupuncture to find his life true callings of servicing others. After graduating with a degree in economics from Stanford University and pursuing opportunity in that vein, Ric realized that he needs a change and a fulfilling yet sustainable career path. He enrolled in the acupuncture school at the Five Branches Institute of Traditional Chinese Medicine, and upon graduating in 1991, began to build his practice. Since 1994, he has curated a health and wellness offering that relies on the foundation of Dr. Tan's balance method and incorporates nutrition, homeopathy, and herbs from functional nutrition approach using applied kinesiology. We know you will appreciate his humor and personality. Let's welcome Ric. Yay!
Thank
Woo!
you. Thank you, Eileen.
Okay, the number one question that I want to ask you, okay, let me tell you, there are people from Miami, Florida, people from Texas. Let me see what else. Come on, if you're here, please say hi. All right, good. Where is this from? Thank you very much for coming, everyone. Yeah, San Diego. Yes, absolutely. And Lisa from New York. And great. So
Greece?
tell
Did you say
us.
Greece?
No, I say great.
Oh,
I say, tell us what when you study that wonderful school, Stanford. How did you decide to come out from the school and go through all the corporate world, and eventually you are doing acupuncture? Can you give us a real like beautiful, um, quick
uh,
answer?
yeah. The elevator speech for that.
Okay, sorry, I got to tell you this lady Monique from Corsica. I have no idea what that is. Somewhere in East Europe, maybe.
Corsica. Yeah, that's in the Mediterranean Sea.
Oh, wow. And also from Miami, that's far, and California too. Okay, go.
Okay.
Yes,
That's because Dr. Tan's influence has gone around the world. Yeah.
absolutely. Yes.
So the quick elevator speech on how I wound up coming from Stanford with an economics degree. I enrolled in Stanford thinking I wanted to be a doctor. I'd gone through a plate glass door when I was 13 and they saved my leg, and I thought I owed it to medicine. But after 1 year of pre med at Stanford in 1976, 77, I realized that this wasn't for me. And I didn't know what I wanted to do. So I kind of drifted and dreamed and did a lot of different um, coursework in psychology, economics, international relations, and decided economics would serve me as I got out. But I gave it a really good shot. I was a real estate agent, stockbroker, underwriter, and hated it. Just hated it. So I actually wanted to be a professional golfer.
Oh,
So I started tending bar for Clint Eastwood at Hog's Breath in Carmel, and while I worked on my golf game, and I hurt my shoulder.
oh,
And I went to two different surgeons that were telling me that he needed to operate and staple my tendon to the bicipital groove or tie one tendon to another one, and I couldn't lift a bottle to make a drink. And a buddy of mine introduced me to his girlfriend, his new girlfriend, and she said, "You need to see my mom." And I said, "Why?" She goes, "My mom's Wajak Kim." And I said, "Okay." is, well, she's an acupuncturist and she can help your shoulder. And I'd been doing Qigong and Tai Chi type classes to help me with my golf game. So I knew what Qi was. And here's this woman that's healing with it. And I was like, oh my God. Well, within 5 visits, I had a full golf swing, no problem. And I was like, okay, how do you do this?
Can you make a drink still?
Just for you.
Okay.
I haven't been bartending for 5 years, but it was one of the things that allowed me to go back through school. Santa Cruz was really close to Monterey, and I commuted for years to 5 branches. Got out, and started my practice in Sacramento. That lasted a little while. Went to Santa Fe, came back to Monterey, and I got a circular to come see Dr. Tan teach women's issues. And at that time, he was only giving seminars in San Diego and Oakland. So I went up Oakland.
Yes, I remember. I met you at Oakland.
You
Parks
met me.
Hotel, remember?
I do. And then we went to, so I was so impressed with Dr. Tan's system just by that one class. Within a few months, he had his exposition in, the celebration, the 4-day celebration in San Diego.
Yes.
So I called up my mom and I took some time off of the bar and I said, Mom, I really need to go see this guy and I need to borrow some money. She goes, well, then we'll make this a vacation. Michael and I'll come down to Old Town while you're in class.
Yes.
So Dr. Tan's Steve, the fellow who wrote this first book with him, the surfer.
Yes.
He taught the first basic class, and Dr. Tan taught that afternoon. When I got back, my mother was lounging by the pool, complaining about her knees because she'd hiked up and down Old Town, and her knees were bothering her. Well, I just found out that the knees are imaged by the elbows, and I needed some needles. So I run back to the hotel, and I find Eileen. And Eileen and I find a security guard that can get us into the room, and she gives me a couple needles, like a box or two, helio needles. And I went back to the hotel, and I put 4 or 5 needles in my mom's elbows, and I said, exactly. She points at lung 5, large intestine 11, and I had her, and I have her with her needles in her elbows, and I'm making her go up and down the stairs.
Oh.
And she's like, I don't have any pain. And so she was sold, and I was sold. Yeah, that was great. So that was how, originally I got to know Dr. Tan.
And me.
Of course, and you. You were the one that helped me break in for needles.
Yeah, I know. We did something. Don't tell the public that we break in.
Well, we had the security guard. It was okay.
That was fine. Yes.
I was so impressed with Dr. Tan's system that I immediately forgot everything else I did, rearranged my office, and started treating people in lazy boy chairs instead of tables, and getting much more efficacy with my treatments. And what was fun was not only was I able to learn from Dr. Tan, but he also became a very good friend. And so I miss him, but I still feel him, his presence. He's always whispering in my ear, like, what needles to use, and, don't use tubes.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's wonderful.
Yeah. So that's, and I've been doing Dr. Tan's system religiously since 1994.
Yeah, I remember after a few years later, then you told me your mom didn't feel good. I have to drive all the way from San Diego to
Oh, God bless you. Balboa. She was in Balboa, and Eileen would come up and give her a home visit in Balboa. Yeah.
That was an
So
hour
mom's
and
still
40
doing
minutes.
She's in Palm Desert now.
Oh, really?
Yeah. And
That's
she
closer.
has closer to you, not to me.
Yeah, closer for me to drive up, because last time I drove 1 hour and 40 minutes one way to see your mother for house call.
I feel the love.
For you.
So did she. I know.
For you, my friend.
But it wasn't a bad place to hang out while you were giving her a treatment. You had
Oh my God, that is beautiful ocean view, and I think she lived on a deck on the somehow
Yeah.
a house on the
Her,
deck.
she, yeah, her husband at the time, that house had been in his family for 3 generations. And so they were right on the water on the Balboa Peninsula, so the boats
Amazing.
went by. Yeah.
I didn't know I'm going to that such a beautiful place. I was like, wow, they was driving for the hour 45 minutes sit in the traffic, but it's amazing, beautiful place. But it was long drive, round trip of 4 hours just to take care of your mother. And I
Yes.
told Rick,
She
I'm not
thought
going anymore for the
she thought
traffic.
you were she thought you were a goddess.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah.
Thank you. I was very happy to be able to help. Thank you. That was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So
So
you asked me if I could remember a couple of my favorite stories using Dr. Tan's points.
yes, please.
And so it reminds me that being in that house maybe 10 or 15 years ago, my mother introduced me to her friend who had been having phantom pain. She had lost her left leg for diabetes.
Oh
They
no.
cut off her left leg at the knee. And she said, I can't believe that I still have this incredible pain and I don't have a leg there. And I said, that's okay. I can help you. And she looked at me like I had 3 heads and she said, what do you mean you can help me? I said, well, with the balance system, I don't need to use the needles on the leg. And she's like, well, what would that look like? I said, well, show me on the good leg where your pain is. And she tracked the gallbladder channel. And so I put 4 needles in liver 3, liver 4, liver 5, and then Osher points, a little further up, maybe a couple more needles. I didn't put any other needles except for yin tong. She fell asleep and I had to go. And I told my mom, I said, okay, mom, you pull the needles out when she wakes up. And so she woke up and she never had any pain again. At
Wow.
least, as far as I know, she didn't have I checked back in a week or 2 weeks because I was going to set her up with a balance practitioner near her. So that was the first really interesting case. I have a lot of them, but the second one illustrates kind of how Dr. Tan, he didn't teach us, he didn't give us fish, he taught us how to fish.
Right.
And so this was probably 2005 or 2006. And I was in my practice in Monterey, and a fella, he peeked in the door, and his wife with him. He had just seen his doctor. He was a cancer patient, and he said, "Can you help me with my pain?" And I said he'd already had the cancer surgery, and they had resectioned his bowel, so he was missing some of his large intestine. And I said, well, let's try. And I said, where is the pain? He goes, nobody for the last 3 or 4 months has been able to help me with this pain. And what it feels like is I have a burning sword going from, and he mentioned, you and I would say CV1, the peritoneum up the base of the body.
Yeah. Perineum.
Okay, right.
Okay.
And the pain went straight up like a burning sword up the middle of his body to near his chest.
Oh.
And I was like, now there's no book that talks about burning sword pain up the middle of the body. So, I'm like, uh-oh. And I said to myself, what would Dr. Tan do? And, he would do 1, 2, 3.
yes. 1, 2, 3.
So what I did was identified the problem channel as the zone channel, the internal channel. And
Yes.
so I used 4 master points of the extra channels. I used the master point for the Rin and the Du, and for the Dai channel, and for the Zong channel. So spleen 4,
Yes.
gallbladder 41, small intestine 3, and lung 7.
Down 7. Yes.
He knocked his pain down from a 9 out of 10 to a 3 out of 10 the first day, and I told him to come back. His wife thought I was just a charlatan. She didn't believe in acupuncture at all. The entire time he came to me, she was trying to get him not to. And so, but he realized that I could help him. And they didn't have a lot of money. And so, I just said, in the first visit, I said, I'll give you a discount. You give me, come Monday, Wednesday, and Friday. And I could knock the pain down, but it would come back. So I told him the next week, you come Monday, Wednesday, and Friday and pay for it. And on Tuesday and Thursday, I'll give you acupuncture for free.
Oh.
So Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and I'm only doing these points. Thursday morning, he comes, the pain's down. I said, do me a favor and come back Thursday afternoon. So he comes back Thursday afternoon. On Friday morning, I come in and he was crying. And it was like Dr. Tan's method of when he talks about, when Dr. Tan used to talk about the girl that fell off the hearse and she was crying.
Right.
Totally exactly the same experience. He's crying and I'm like, uh-oh. And he says, I just want you to know that last night when I left, I went home and it was the first time that I could help my wife cook dinner in 2 months.
Oh.
So he came back a couple more weeks, 3 times a week, and then 2 times a week. And by maybe 1 or 2 weeks of just once a week, he had no pain.
Wow.
And I said, you need to come back, for just a couple of times just to seal the deal.
Right. Seal the deal.
Sealed the deal. And he didn't come back. So what happened, about 4 or 5 months later, he pokes his head in my door like he did in the beginning. And his wife wasn't with him. And he just said, I want you to know that you're the only person that was able to help me with my pain.
Oh.
And I said, good, you don't have your pain. And she goes, oh no, the pain came back. I said, what? And you haven't come back? He said, no, my wife convinced me to go to the pain doctors. They said I didn't need to come back to you because they were going to put me on a different medication. And so my wife has had me on this medication. I said, sit down. You sit in this chair. I took the pain away. He left. He never came back. And a month later, I saw his obituary in the newspaper.
Oh, I'm so sorry.
But what it illustrates the 2 things. It illustrates 3 things. It illustrates, 1, that Dr. Tan has taught us methodology that allows us to think for ourselves. There's every day I get to go to, I don't go to work. I go to play. It really is. It's so much fun. It's never the same thing. And you're helping so many people.
Yes.
The second thing it illustrates is that you have to really create a relationship with your patient to let them know that this healing, there's a certain pattern. You need to let them know that you need to see them, fairly frequently in the beginning, and it can peter out over time, but they have to come even when they don't feel the pain. And the third thing is it shows just the gift that Dr. Tan has given the world.
Yes, absolutely. I'm very sorry because I have some idea about how painful that can be when people have the solid in mass that grows in the body, which is, I'm talking about cancer.
Yeah.
Pain is devastating. Most doctors prescribe opiates or prescribe what is the medication that Michael Jackson taking?
Chemotherapy.
Hydrocodone, hydrate.
Oh, yeah, opiates.
Yeah, opiates and that is very difficult pain that people are suffering because they are solid in the organ that is not able to reduce the size and they usually are growing.
Yes.
And then bending, the pain is solid. And for you to be able to help into reducing it, I already think that is amazing because it's really hard to reducing that. Most of the people put the needles in, pain maybe go away, but when you remove it, the pain comes back. May not be 100%, but at least 40 to 60% will be returned.
Right.
So just to share that with you, you did a great job.
And so over the course of my career, one of the things that I tell my patients is that if I can get to see you for the next treatment before the pain gets up to the level of where it was the last time you see me, then I get top spin on the treatment. In other words, the treatment is more effective. If the pain may come back, but we want to try and get it before it comes back to the same levels.
Right.
And
right.
so that's, yeah. And what we are handcuffed in America because, as you know, in China, or as I've been told, In China, you can go for acupuncture every day,
Yes.
and it's not very expensive. So if we could do Dr. Tan's method every day, that we would have much more efficacy.
Right.
So
Yes.
you have, how do you do that to make it affordable to the patient and he'll still keep your doors open?
Yes. That's true.
I've lost a couple of clinics by giving it away too much. Eileen's
Right.
always mad at me for that.
I do. I ask you to charge. And there are people coming from what is Seaside, California. Lalita's here, and from Bulgaria.
Seaside, California is my neighbor.
Really, Bulgaria is not your neighbor, and you're from Netherlands, correct?
All the world is a village.
Norway. Huh? What? Sorry.
All the world is a village.
Yes, we're all next to each other. So yes, thank you for stopping by and coming in to say hi to us. Yes, thank you. Yeah, Lalita is a very good student of Dr. Tan's. Oh, no, me. I think Lalita, her father is a student of Dr. Tan. And then her father asking her to be an acupuncturist, and she did it. And so she said she heard so much things about you, and of course Tona's here from Santa Barbara, so everybody's coming in to watch you. Thank you for joining us, and I want you to talk about one of the case you did.
One more thing before you just talked about Lolita. You got to meet my son Shane. Shane is halfway through the acupuncture program in Bastyr, up in Seattle, and he will be studying Dr. Tan's method from you as soon as he graduates. My treat.
Lalita.
No, Shane, my son. You met him. You
Okay.
cooked us dinner.
I know, I remember now. So I'm going to teach him. Is that what you want me to do?
Of course.
Okay, great. Also, before that we go on to, I want you to talk about the case that you did at CEU. The patient was coma. You called me to talk
Yeah. Okay.
this, and you did a treatment.
Right.
Can you tell the whole story so people know how to use the Dr. Tan's 12 magical point at a condition like this? Not just any treatment can do Dr. Tan's 12 magical. Okay, if it's 1, 2, 3, you do the 1, 2, 3. But this case, you did it with 1, 2, 3. It's phenomenal. Please share that with us. How's that?
Okay. I was actually, believe it or not, I was coming back from a Dr. Tan seminar on one of these transport buses that come from the airport from San Jose down about an hour and a half drive. And now I have a captured audience. All the people in the back have to listen to me talk about acupuncture to the driver.
Wait.
And well, he asked me what I was doing. I said, I'm coming back from this great seminar on learning acupuncture technique. And he goes, oh, he says, so how's that work? And I give him the whole song and dance. And he says, I wonder if that'll help my martial art instructor. He said, and I tell him, he tells me what goes on. This guy hit a pig on a motorcycle, and he was doing 75 miles an hour and hit a pack of pigs and had a brain injury and wound up in the ICU in a coma. And then at the end of the story, he says, yeah, I think it might help Adam. And I was like, Adam Rogers? And he goes, yeah. All of a sudden it clicked. This guy was one of my good friends that I'd worked in restaurants with. And so I said, are you telling me that Adam Rogers right now is in a coma? He goes, yeah, he's been in a coma for 2 weeks. I said, so I called his wife and I said, Kristen, I just found out Adam's in a coma. Talk to his doctors. I will come in. I don't care what time. I'll just come in and I'll give him acupuncture for free. So he had 2 neurologists, brain doctors. One of them was a complete, I don't want to use a bad word.
No bad words. We're broadcasting.
So anyway, he was an idiot. This guy didn't even believe in physical therapy. But the other guy was Russian, Dr. Dimitrov, and he signed off on the order, said, yeah, it took a week, so he'd been in a coma for 3 weeks. So I came in with my kit, And you go into ICU, it's like a space station. It's like there's low lights and 19 nurses, and half of them didn't want anything to do with me, but the other half were like, you wanted to see what I was doing. So he taught martial arts, and he had a couple of assistant instructors and a family around him, and he was in a fetal position. So again, kind of 1, 2, 3, but where's your 1, 2, 3? So what I decided to do was Dr. Tan's method of, here's a guy that doesn't have any relationship to, I need to create chi flow. And so what I did was all 12 channels, I used Jingwell points.
Yeah, you need to activate it.
And so I put the needles in, and he didn't move. But once I started to crank them, and so as we all know, as you stimulate the needle, exactly. Well, he couldn't tell me, and I could feel him. I could feel the chi start to, to take. I could feel the needles grab, but I just kept going. And next thing I know is he's got, the loop in the nerves where when you step on a hot rock or something and your body, a reflex arc. It's called a reflex arc. So he did that. Both his arms and his legs were just moving like this. And so I had, these people that were standing around his table, or his bed, hold his limbs. And his critical care nurse, she was blown away. She stepped back a couple of steps and was like, I have not seen that guy move in 3 weeks. This is amazing. And so in 18 days, I gave him 15 treatments. I had like a head cold or something I didn't want to bring in for a couple of days, but I saw him consistently for the first couple of almost a week and a half or 2 weeks. After 3 days, they moved him out of ICU around the corner, not where they had to observe him, but he was still in the ICU unit, just not in the little room. In 7 days, he woke up. And I'm told that he woke up singing for the great, the Doors, Break On Through to the Other Side. I don't know whether that was true or not, but he did break on through from the other side.
What does that mean, break on through on the other side? I don't understand.
It's a song. Oh. It's a song. I have to play that one for you sometime. Okay. Anyway, what was interesting was I went to, I followed him for 18 visits. I'm sorry, 15 visits in those 18 days. They relocated him from Monterey to a rehab hospital in Santa Cruz. It took me 4 tries just to get in to see him. And the rehab hospital would not allow anybody to break off. There was one of the orderlies there that was going to help me, and they called him away. So I could put the needles in, but he would start to move, and the needles, it would create pain. And so he was starting to yell, and they wouldn't let me come back. So now fast forward a month and a half or 2 months. From what I understand, he's run out of insurance. I run into his wife in like Whole Foods or something, and she says, you need to come back and see Adam. I said, oh, is he out? He goes, yeah, he's at the apartment. I said, okay. And so he goes, but he's not at the apartment. He's upstairs watching a movie with our neighbors. And I'm like, okay. And I'm like, so I'm thinking like he's lying on the couch, watching a movie, still, somewhat paralyzed. He is sitting in a wheelchair, eating spaghetti, talking to 2 Mormon missionaries while he's, totally animated. And half of him still has ataxia, but he's, up and running. He's, I've gone to his birthday party many years. That was 12, 15 years ago. So he's doing good.
Congratulations.
He got a chance. Actually, he sued Caltrans because they built the bridge at the Carmel River too fast, and they didn't put a wildlife corridor in. So the pigs would come over the road. I knew 2 other people that hit them in cars just within that same week. Yeah, can you imagine coming up 70 miles an hour on a motorcycle at 11 o'clock at night and seeing a pack of pigs in front of you? What do you do?
That's not good.
Yeah, that's a oh shit.
I always see the pork belly. I'm just kidding.
Yeah. I'll take the pork chop, the bacon, and the ham sandwich.
All right. I remember you told me this treatment. I also remember you called me about it, so that's why I remember this vividly. And this is amazing. Is a mind blowing treatment that you consistently treated him. That is really amazing. Thank you for sharing all this case study with us.
Can I give one thing that I've learned over time?
Yes, please.
And I I believe that you can get more efficacy, you can be more efficient and more by blending Dr. Tan's systems together sometimes. Like I will have, let's see how, okay, so I have a Bell's palsy patient. I've had 8 or 9 in my career and they've all gotten better. So this guy's locked up. I'm seeing him for his 4th visit yesterday. And he's only been coming to see me for a week, but he's had Bell's palsy for maybe a month. And it's, so his face is frozen, his eyes open, his mouth's open. And just so, 1, 2, 3, opposite side, I'm using liver 8, spleen 9, Osher points. And he says that the most pain that he feels and where it's most intense is going down the stomach channel along the jaw. So I go down spleen channel to looking for Osher points. I get, and I get about to spleen 6, but I've got 3 or 4 points in him. He feels it automatically unlocks his jaw. He can stick his tongue out more. But after the second visit of that type of treatment, I also used large intestine upstairs, 11, Osher points.
Yes.
And triple burner points. Yes. So, but after the second visit, I always try to use Dr. Tan's 3-6 balance method to get the energy to move. Yes. So I'll come back into the room. So for example, for this gentleman, after 10 or 15 minutes of just those 2 or 3 very powerful points, I'll then put in spleen 3, I'll put in stomach 43 and 36, opposite side. Then I'll put in large intestine 3 and 11, and lung 5 and 9. And what that does is that not only allows that chi to take out the stagnation, but you're getting it to flow. Right. And I do that a lot,
Energetically speaking, yes, that is really helpful for doing so. So you're blending the acupuncture 1, 2, 3 plus the global balance together to make it more vital, vitality. Yes.
Right. Yes. And the other one I'll use a lot is I'll use the master points. The master points of the extra channels.
Yes.
Along with the 3-6 balancing.
Yes.
Yeah.
So you are shining by the sun from Dr. Tan on your right up corner, right there. No, I want you to have it because that means Dr. Tan is looking after you.
I feel the love.
He's up there.
He's with us. That's for sure.
Yeah, you look fantastic.
So do you.
Oh, thank you.
Yeah, everybody, you have to look at Eileen's hair. She's having a really good hair day.
Oh, thank you. Thank you. My good hair, my black hair, my brown hair, my white hair, they're all together. So
it's called balance.
Thank you. So it's already 34 minutes. Thank you so much for everybody to join us. And I can listen to Ric every single moment, 2-3 hours, no problem. I've been to his place for drinking. And we were just talking about acupuncture. We can throw case to each other for 3, 4, 5 hours. And today we only have 30 minutes. Next time I will be happy to invite him over to talk about how he used the kinesiologies with the acupuncture and the herbal and nutrition. So maybe next time, maybe a month later, I will have him back again. So please, Ric, be ready. We're going to invite you to have more cases. How about that?
That sounds like fun. And I just want to give a shout out to Dr. Tan. It was always a gift to be able to hang out with him after the seminars and to go and eat dinner or eat lunch with him. And I miss him a lot. He's very, very, he was like a father figure to me. So,
It's
you
really
know,
awesome.
he
Yes.
was an incredible man, and he left an lasting legacy with you. So,
Thank you.
and I'm very proud of the work that you do for him.
Thank you. Thank you. And then I always remember, Rick, we always order martini, lemon twist, and olive, and then for him. And then after we toast it and we drink it.
Yeah.
All righty. Thank you, everybody. Thank you, Rick, for your busy schedule. Come to share this wonderful moment with us. And I will see you next time. Thank you, everyone. And thank you, Bud. You come from New York, I remember. And thank you so much, everybody. Thank you, Rick. Have a great day.
Okay, Eileen, you too.
See you next
Um,
time. Bye bye,
okay.
guys.
Bye.